This week's boss event is Dreadbloon on 3 Mines round, and for the second time ever, the game mode is CHIMPS. Now, just like the first time, it's not regular CHIMPS. The rounds has been modified so that they are longer and has more bloons, and that way you get more income than in regular CHIMPS, and of course, on this map you can also mine the rocks for income. I was thinking about what type of challenge I wanted to do for this boss event, and eventually I settled on just playing a game of ranked mode, which is timed for this week. And I spent some time trying to figure out what my strat was gonna be, and after a while I figured out something brilliant. Just copy Lawrence. With the rocks that can be mined, there is a bunch of different ways that you can go about it in terms of what rocks you mine in which order, and you kind of have to choose which tiers you want to have a lot of cash and which tiers you're gonna have quite a bit less. For the first tier, you can mine the 4 cheapest rocks, but the problem is that the most expensive out of the 4 is gonna be done mining very late, so that most of your cash cannot be used for towers with abilities, because you're gonna have to place them so late that they won't have time to come off cooldown. So if you want to mine 4 rocks, you're only going to have cash for a few towers with abilities, so an example would be 2 spike storms to take out the primary layer, and then the rest of the cash comes late, so then you need to take out the rest of the boss with a tower that doesn't use an ability like the tax zone. That was my original tier 1 strat before I had the epiphany to just copy Lawrence, but in this game we're only going to mine 3 rocks for tier 1 and have less cash, but all the cash will be able to be spent on ability-based towers. So we prepped 2 spike storms for the primary immunity, and then a super monkey fan club plus a glue strike for the remaining 3 skulls, and then we start the boss fight, use the 2 spike storms instantly, and as soon as the first skull is popped we use the glue strike, and then we spend the cash we earned during the kill on some extra upgrades. So that was a tier 1 time of 13.95 seconds, and now we can continue to mine more rocks and work on the setup for tier 2. The current setup is strong enough to survive on this very easy map for long enough that we can save right up to the first rock and then the second, so that they are both mining. They both take 10 rounds, and we started mining the second one during round 50, so we're gonna get the cash for that one just before tier 2 starts. So then we begin prepping for tier 2 with some more spike storms so that the abilities will be ready, and also by adding more dart monkeys, because now we're gonna use the plasma monkey fan club, so we're gonna need to add 10 more darts. And then, with all the remaining cash that we get on round 60, we get the Cripple Moab, S-Brit, and the normal Brittle. Here I was a bit low on cash, so I upgraded the normal Brittle during the kill, and it was pretty late in the kill as well, so I definitely lost some time here, but this wasn't planned to be a full effort run from the beginning, so I'll take it. The total time is now up to like 22.28, I think, and now here comes an almost triggering part of the run, which is that I am not gonna be mining the final biggest rock, and that's missing out on a lot of cash, 60k to be exact. And the reason is again that if you choose to mine it, sure you will have a lot of cash later, but you will be broke for some other tiers. Now, as I'm writing the script for this video, I'm seeing some new scores pop up on the leaderboard that's looking really good, so it wouldn't surprise me if the optimal strat does mine the biggest rock and cuts back on some early tiers, but this strat I will not be mining it. What we do to prep for tier 3 is once again to get more spike storms as well as a tier 3 mermonkey for plus 10% pierce on them. We're also gonna get a call to arms for more attack speed and get a second primary mentoring discount village and increase the amount of dart monkeys from 20 to 40 because we're gonna do a double plasma monkey fan club. So we use the call to arms, start the fight, use the plasma monkey fan club and spike storms, then rejuve, plasma monkey fan club and spike storms again, and then hit the glue strike when the primary immunity is over, and then spend the cash we make on some extra dart upgrades during the kill. The total time is now up to 32.09 seconds, and now we're gonna hit play and continue to take down the rounds without getting any penalty and save up some more cash, and during the rounds we will have a lot to do. We gotta get a permabrew and a Chinook to move it around and buff everything, and we're also gonna use the Chinook to save some cash. We're once again going to increase the number of spike storms, and that tower is very expensive. It has a high base price and expensive upgrades at tier 3 and below, so you really benefit from discount villages. So when I get the spike storms, I place them one by one in a little area in which I still have room and still have a triple discount, and then after getting them to 130, I Chinook them out of the way into their final position inside the range of the Mermonkey's Pierce buff. So there is a lot of Chinooking going on, and even though it's 20 rounds until the next boss fight and the rounds are longer than usual, there is so much Chinooking that I barely had time to get it all done. And then I finished by getting Homeland and yet another 20 darts, because this time I'm going to do a triple Plasma Monkey Fan Club. So I use Homeland, start the fight, and then do 3 rounds of Plasma Monkey Fan Club and Spike Storms, and of course use the Glue Strike, and just like before we spend the extra cash on some more dart upgrades, and the total time is now up to 41.58 seconds. Now we only have the final tier left. The rounds are gonna get tougher now, so we often need to use abilities to survive, but more so to get the rounds done fast enough to not get a penalty. It's pretty much gonna be more of the same. We're gonna be using the Chinook to get more Spike Storms with triple discount, and I even Chinooked some of my darts over there to get the 2 last middle path upgrades on them with triple discount instead of just 1 discount. And I'm also gonna get a tier 4 Super Monkey Fan Club and some more darts, so on top of the 60 Plasma Monkey Fan Club monkeys, we're also gonna have 10 Super Monkey Fan Club monkeys, and I'm also gonna upgrade the Mermonkey to tier 4 for yet another plus 10% Pierce buff. And I also got a tier 3 Desperado, which might be a bit strange. I'll use him first to get more discounts on some darts that I don't have time to Chinook for triple discounts by using his ability to buff the range of a village. And then during the kill, I will use him to buff the range of a village so that my darts that are far away will get the village buff, most importantly the range buff. So once at tier 5, I Chinook the P-Brew in range of the boss so it can attack, cause why not? And then I place the Heli so that it can also attack, and then I give 2 camo pots to 2 darts because they're so far away that they can't attack without it, and then some sharpening stones to some spike storms, and then buff the range of the village, and then I'm ready. Here you'll notice that I'm rejuving using a hotkey this time around, because I noticed that rejuving fast was way more important on this tier than the others because the first skull isn't insta-killed. And yes, there is one Super Monkey Fan Club monkey that isn't attacking. I noticed that too, but at this point I didn't care enough to go back and fix it. This boss I thought was a lot of fun. Playing timed in CHIMPS mode is kind of nice, because it shifts what you need to focus your planning on, and it's very different compared to what we usually have, and we very rarely have CHIMPS events, so I hope we get some more of these. The final time was 104.75, which at the time was 4th place on the leaderboard, or 3rd depending on if 1st place is legit or not, but either way, when the boss events ends, I'm probably gonna be around 10th place anyway. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.